Spirit of 76 demo. My name is Matt
Oh,
Snyder. We got Christian and Ben from Fireworks and Marketer. They're really experienced fireworks retailers and online marketers through the Google space. They've helped out a ton of our customers already. Um, getting them online and getting lots of reviews and getting people pointed in the direction when they're searching for fireworks. So we're really happy to have them. They've been great partners the last few years with us, and it's been a real nice resource for Spirit of 76 and our retailers to have. So, I hope you guys enjoy the demo. For the Spirit of 76 sales office will be open tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Please reach out to us if you have any questions. If you haven't gotten your pricing set for this year or have new questions about the new pricing system we have this year, it's a little bit different, but it is going to benefit all of our customers overall. So that's great. Give us a call tomorrow morning. Shoot us an email overnight. We'll be happy to help you out. But without further ado, I'll hand it over to Christian and Ben to take away and go through their, with their presentation here.
thank you, Matt. Hey, guys, my name is Christian Jones. I'm the CEO of Fireworks and Marketer, and this is Ben Greutman. He's the COO.
Hey, guys, how are you?
So, hey, Ben. And Matt is also my sales rep for Spirit of 76. So I am a retailer myself. If you can believe it, I know I look young, but I've been doing this for 15 years, and Ben and I have a business that helps retail fireworks locations across the country grow through digital marketing. And so here's the goal for today. We're not going to be probably the full hour. I know we talked about it being an hour. We'll see where we get. We'll save some room for chat and Q&A at the end, so please make sure you use that. But the agenda for today is to show you the blueprint that we use at our company to help people dominate on Google, generate more customers, and increase revenue. And there we go. I've got the con. Here's my goals and takeaways that I want you to leave this session with. I want you to know that there's a lot of power with digital marketing. There's a ton of stuff that you can do to improve your business's online presence, to use these different tactics to get new customers, and to leave today feeling like there's a few things you could implement even if you don't become a customer of ours. So spoiler alert, we're going to tell you what it looks like to sign up with us in this presentation, but we do want to offer a lot of value, make sure that you kind of understand how Google works, how websites work, how reviews impact your overall ranking. And the net effect of this is that we're just leaving a demo about a ton of great product that Spirit of 76 is going to both have in stock now, have in their containers, have all over the place. They've got it, as Matt said, coming online tomorrow. I think if I heard him right, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. My goal is to help you sell that product. That's been my experience. So again, a little more about me, a little bit of background. I've got 3 stands in Kansas City. I started my 3rd last year. I've had 2 for 4 years and 1 for 15. I'm also the CEO of a digital marketing agency in a completely separate space. So my day job with Ben, how we actually met each other and got to tinkering with my fireworks stand, that was kind of the laboratory that Fireworks and Marketer grew out of, was we serve CPAs, accountants, and tax professionals across the country. We've got 20 plus team members in that company. Tax Pro Marketer, we were an Inc. 5000 company in 2022. And so I'll show you numbers on my stand in a second, but back in 2015 or so, Ben, probably.
Yeah.
We started to tinker with my first stand that I've had since 2010, 2009. And the results are pretty startling. So I'm going to give you some case study stuff on me at the beginning, just to try and bait you a little bit with interest. Why should you pay attention to this? But first, cute babies and cute family pictures for both Ben and I. Here's my family. That's Christiana. I've got big man Hudson, Jane on the right, and Elsa. And half my company doesn't know this yet, so I'm going to tell a bunch of strangers first. I guess that's right. I've got number 4 coming later this year. So my life is chaos. And, maybe a shameless plug for delegating. If you guys are in a similar space where within the fireworks world, maybe this is your main gig, maybe it's a side gig, maybe you're looking to break into this industry, but you're probably busy, right? All of us are busy, whether it's personal stuff, family, kids, fireworks, right? And fireworks is madness. Like, again, 15-year veteran of making sure my order shows up on time, and tent and permits and pricing and POS and blah, 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 blah. And how in the freak am I going to get customers to come by? Location. if you're at all in my shoes of wanting more of your time back and to see results go up, man, you're in the right place. But I've got Ben Greutman here, who is my partner in Fireworks and Marketer. He's our COO, and he's kind of our back-end wizard. He kind of builds a lot of the things that make our systems hum and our customers perform. So Ben, I'll let you intro yourself, and then we've got a family pick for you as well.
Yeah, so Christian and I started working together a number of years ago, and so I think that really plays into this a lot. But we developed a relationship. He was doing the fireworks thing, and he was just basically like, "Hey, all the stuff that we do with Tax Per Marketer, can we try and do some of that with my fireworks tent and just see what happens?" And that's how we kind of ended up where we are. Is we were like, "Oh my gosh, this was really, really helpful." He didn't change locations. He didn't he didn't get a bigger tent. He wasn't open more days during the year. People just found him easier, and that kind of led to kind of this growth trajectory that was exciting. But I love doing back end things. I love fixing things. I love building things. I love being creative, and I love making things better. And so that's one of the reasons why we work really well together. And in terms of family, I am a few years ahead of Christian.
Yes.
So we are Chiefs fans. So go Chiefs.
Let's go.
And so I got a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, an almost 13-year-old, and then a 9-year-old. We had a much needed break in there before we had Peter, our fourth one. And we're doing good. Things are rocking and rolling. And we're ready for game day.
Okay, so Ben, the most important thing you're going to tell us in this whole webinar: score prediction, Chiefs Bills.
Oh my gosh. I think it's going to be close. I think we're going to win. I'm going to go 23-20.
Whoa. Will you be bringing donuts to your watch party?
Donuts.
Because we saw in the YouTube chat there was a
That's
thread
true.
going on.
That's true.
Top donuts.
Yeah, there was a lot of donut talk in the demo chat that I thought was pretty entertaining. So my favorite are the traditional glazed donuts. So that is my vote.
Okay, so there might be some glazed donuts at Ben's house for the Chiefs game. Here we go, Chiefs.
Let's go.
Let's go. Sorry if you're in New York, you're gonna lose. Okay, here's my main stand. It's a 60 by 40 tent in Kansas City, Kansas. It's called Pat Riot's. I've been in it for 15 years. I took it over. It had already existed at a property that my family owned, that my high school actually was running as a nonprofit, and they just gave up. It was a small thing. The coaches of the football team wanted to give up. I took it over in high school. It helped me pay for school, but it wasn't like a big thing. It was a great laboratory to learn business principles and, how things work, buying product, permits. But like, it's much different now than it was then. And let's talk about that. So we have a 6-day selling season. It's a 60 by 40 tent. I have 2 other stands on either side of me within like 100 yards. I don't do any other ads. I don't do billboards. I've tried radio, but I haven't done that for a long time. There are 33 stands in Wyandotte County, Kansas in 2023. There used to be 70, if you can believe it. So I'm in a saturated county like a lot of you. Some of you are rural. This applies to you just the same. Here's some fun numbers for my business in 2023. I'm going to show you Google data and then revenue data. So I'm going to kind of open the kimono a little bit with you guys, because I want you to see that this stuff that we're going to talk about is worth paying attention to and considering for yourself, because truth be told, like, we're all in business for something other than just being in business. And Fireworks for me has been a great, obviously, revenue generator, hires and employs a lot of people, but it also gives my family a lot of flexibility. But it, again, wasn't always that way. It was a kind of a nice side hustle, and now it's become something different. So June 1st to July 31st of this last year, I'm only open for 6 days. So the vast majority of these actions happen in that time frame of that 6-day period. I had 206 phone calls, 94 reviews, 1,000 direction requests, 1,000 people getting directions to my business on Google. And you can see some of these search terms that I commonly showed up for. 7,600 people found me by typing in fireworks near me. More on that in a little bit. Okay, so revenue. In 2015, I had 57,000 in revenue in a 6-day season. Flash forward to 2023, I'm up to 215,000 on 2,100 transactions. 1,000 transactions to 2,100 transactions. So that's obviously like a big change. The numbers speak for themselves. I won't highlight them any more than I am now, We can always talk more about that growth trend, but like it didn't happen all at once. But everything that has happened growth-wise for me, besides maybe my base of 50 to 60K that I would get anyways, is because of what we do online. It's because of Google. It's because of figuring out how to rank and show up and then doing that for other people like you guys. And I'm using me as an example because I've got really clear revenue data, as opposed to some of our customers we serve where I don't. I don't know all of our customers' revenue data. I have stories I can tell you. I had a guy that signed up with us actually at a demo from Spirit of 76 last spring. He's in my market. He might be on this webinar. If you're here, you know who you are. I'm glad you're here. Had his best season ever, first season with us. What I'm showing you is not unique to me because I'm a CEO of a digital marketing company. It's principles and tactics that any business, whether you're a donut shop, a fireworks retailer, a plumber, an electrician, or a fireworks retailer, right? Like these are principles that work for CPAs and lawyers and everyone. So I'm going to kind of show you more philosophically, like how does digital marketing work in general? And then how do we apply that to fireworks groups? And the results are the same. You can grow. Here's my newest stand. This was a brand new stand in Shawnee, just down the road from my primary stand in Wyandotte. This is in Johnson County, if you're familiar. So Shawnee had first year ever that they had stands. And guess who was of 5 stands that Shawnee allowed to operate? They did a lottery system. I got one of the permits via lottery. Totally great, random, amazing. I had 2, I'll leave them anonymous, 2/10 of the 5, and they were both sandwiching me again, were one of the biggest retailers in the country with way bigger tents and product galore than I had. And I had a terrible location. I got a location. It was the only landowner I could find to give me a permit. And part of what I hope you leave today's session with is location, 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 right? That's fireworks. And I'm not saying that you could put up a fireworks stand in a back alley behind a dumpster and do well. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that if you don't have the best location, and if you're worried about someone popping up down the road from you, closer to the exit, closer to the main thoroughfare, closer whatever, or if that's already the case and you're bleeding revenue, this kind of eliminates that. Again, it would have been better if I had put my tent at the front of the parking lot than the back. Rookie mistake, right? It's just what the landowner let me do. So first year stay in Shawnee Fireworks, what happened? 40 by 40 tent, slightly longer selling season. Again, I don't get to sell in the winter. 2 much larger, better placed tents within a mile or so of me in both directions. 112 reviews in our first season. 7,600 fireworks near me search impressions. 870 people got directions to me. And why did that happen? Because I showed up and I looked like the best option. Okay, revenue data. Where's the revenue data? Here it is. That stand in its first year did 93K. It was a great year. I'm not saying that'll happen next year for me. I'm not saying that'll happen for you in your first year. I went from 57 to 75 to 85 to 100, but eventually over a period of 6 or 7 years, I've gone from 57,000 in revenue to 215,000 for my primary stand and 93,000 for another. And the third stand was comparable. I did about 90 as well in revenue in a 6-day season. And it's also at a terrible location, truth be told. So you might not come to me to be the guy to help you pick the best parking lot, but you would come to me if you were looking to get traffic and customers from a new channel. Ben, what do you want to add?
Yeah, I think most of you people can identify with our general behavior, all of us, because of smartphones and what we do when we're going to go somewhere. Most people decide where they're going to go before they even pull out of their driveway or their garage. Right? They make that decision. They find where they want to go on their phone. They make the decision then, and they click get directions, and they will follow that phone to wherever they're going, even if that means driving past other fireworks tents. How often do you do that with a restaurant? You decide where you're going to go before you go there, and you could drive by a dozen restaurants before you get to the one that you plan on going to because you already made the decision. And so that's the power of Google with human behavior when you aren't in the best location, is that people already decided and they don't want to redecide, they're going to go.
Right. Yeah, well said, Ben. And that's kind of laid out here in this slide. Let me just highlight here, opportunity is knocking because our industry, not too dissimilar from the tax and accounting space, is just not savvy at digital marketing. There's exceptions, Just as a disclaimer, I'm not going to talk a lot about social media today. I'm not going to tell you how to go viral on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. And I'm not saying that that wouldn't be worth pursuing. What I'm going to talk about is getting on page 1 of Google, and I want you to know that you can absolutely do this. But how do you do it? That's the question we want to answer. So I'm going to pause before we get into it and just tell you again, if you want to easy button this and have us do this for you, I'm here to help. I really am. So we'll do some Q&A at the end. My email will be present. I'll show you our sign up page. So what I don't like is making hard sales and twisting your arm and making you feel like, oh, panic, stress. I want it to be compelling based on teaching and data and desire. If you have desire to grow, you're talking to the right people, because we have both my own stands and, again, we've got dozens of customers across the country over the last few years that we've been officially operating and not just helping people on the side, kind of ad hoc, project-based, since we've launched Firework Stand Marketer. And some of our clients are here with us now. And so we've got people in the room in their first season, maybe their third or fourth season, and everything in between. And then a lot of people that don't know us. So how do we do it? How do you do it? What does digital marketing look like? I'm going to put before you the digital dominance method. And Ben, I'll bring you on to talk about these different kind of stages. But everything about marketing is funnel. Everything about marketing is broad to narrow. So you first have to get visible. We'll talk about this more concretely in a minute. But if you're not showing up first, that's the thing we have to solve for. If you have a website that's not getting traffic, well, we got to look at it. We got to fix the problem. That's, I always use the example when I talk about visibility. It's like having a Corvette or a Mustang, or choose your favorite car of choice, sitting outside your house, and it looks nice and it's got wheels, but it has no engine in it. A lot of people with marketing scratch their head and wonder, I built a website, I'm doing Facebook stuff, I'm doing videos. What do I need to do to get this to work? I want you to leave today feeling more clear on how to do that. What else would you add?
Yeah, and so I guess the more technical way to say that is doing things that will please Google's algorithm. So a lot of the things that we're talking about are like, hey, there's a list of things that Google says, if you do these things, we will reward you with search preference.
Right.
But the problem is like most people don't know how to do those things, or they don't want to learn, or they're just too busy doing other things. But part of it is a known quantity, right? So there's some of what Google does that is a black box, but a lot of it is a known quantity, and we're going to kind of get to some of that in a little bit.
Right.
I'm going to kind of show you the different things and strengths that they put on.
Yeah.
But that's just something to keep in mind.
So getting visible is not the end of the story. You then need to establish trust, encourage action, and follow up. And let's talk about it in terms of a relationship journey, because we're going to map that onto this. You need to get visible. That's the awareness stage. You need to have credibility established. You need to convert leads. And then you need to follow up. But today is only going to be about awareness. That's it. There's more to what we do than this. There's more to marketing than awareness and visibility and getting traffic. But without that, your credibility, your conversion, your follow-up, your nurture and engagement, it just doesn't matter that much. So I want to solve your most upstream problem for digital marketing if this is the road you want to go down. If you want to grow, do radio, do billboards, print flyers, knock on doors, whatever you do. Keep doing that if it works. But let's pay attention to Google as well, because that's where most people go, like Ben said, to find someone. So the question we ask is, how do you own your local online marketplace? And there's a key word there I just want to highlight to begin with. It's local. There's different types of what we would call SEO. That could be a new acronym for you guys. What does SEO stand for? Actually, Ben, what does SEO stand for?
Search engine optimization.
Sounds more scary than it is. We want to optimize for the search engine, right? So how we do that's what we're going to talk about, but it's local. So you're going to show up best in your backyard. That's where you're going to get your traffic. That's where my traffic comes from. We'll talk about advertising in a second. Spoiler alert, you cannot advertise. Everything we're going to talk about is what we would call organic, free traffic, because you rank on page 1 of Google in your local marketplace, your local county and city or area, your region. And it depends on how big your city is. It depends on competition. It depends on a lot of things. But the goal is local domination. And that's just one key thing to point out at the beginning. Okay, so here's a QR code for you. This is our sales page. I'll also put this in the chat in a little bit. towards the end. I'm not trying to hide the ball. If you want to explore our pricing and know what it's like to work with us, we'll come back to this at the end, but that's where you can go. But okay, awareness stage, dominate on Google. How do we do this? The goal with the awareness stage is to get visible to your potential customers. It's to generate traffic. We've got to get traffic flowing to a couple of properties. You could think about traffic going to Facebook or Instagram or your website, or maybe it's a paid ad, or we're going to talk about what's called your Google business page. It used to be called Google My Business. They changed the name about 2 years ago to Google Business Page or Google Business Profile. We're going to talk a decent amount about that, but I'm going to focus today not on social media or advertising, but on how do you drive traffic to your website and your Google business page. That's the focus. So we're getting a little more granular. We're getting into the weeds. I'm taking you down further from high level in the clouds to how do we actually implement this? On a Google search page, you've seen this 10,000 times. You can show up in 3 ways on a Google search. You can be an ad, pay to play. I'm showing up at the top of the page because I paid to be there. You can be in the map section, or you could be in what we call the organic results beneath the map. Surprise, surprise, the fireworks industry cannot advertise on Google, which sucks because that would be a great easy button, wouldn't it? I mean, there's a lot we could do for our customers if we could advertise, but everyone's playing with the same deck of cards. No one can advertise on Google or Facebook or anywhere else. Anyone that tells you they've got a scheme to do that, it might work for a little bit. It doesn't work most of the time. So now we can only show up in 2 places on Google, and ranking in both places is the goal. So here's what that looks like. If I type in Kansas City fireworks stand, this is a real search I did. Here's the results. The map section and the organic search results beneath it. Okay, so these are 2 different places on Google you can rank, and ranking in these 2 places, there's some similarities to what Google's looking for, but I just want to say to you guys, and if this is like way too deep, Google's an algorithm, and there are different algorithms at play with this screenshot I'm showing you. So the next bit of my presentation is to tell you, and here's kind of the meat of our tactics, how do you rank in each place? What is Google looking for? And that's where Ben and I are going to kind of riff. So we're going to start with the bottom section. How do you rank down here? This is your website. This is, it could be also a key profile like Yelp. It could be a top 10 list. It could be something else. But for a Kansas City fireworks stand, man, I'm in the top 3 and my website's number 1.
Let's go.
This is the goal for you guys. So this is a graph from our friends at Moz Local, M-O-Z Local. So this is not from me. But this is an explainer of what Google's looking for to decide the thing that everyone wants. Who gets to show up on page 1? Who gets that placement? Who gets those eyeballs and those traffic and then those direction requests, that website click? Who gets the phone call that comes through it all? Well, it's the person that has done back-end SEO work to their website. That's what item number 1 is. It's the website that produces engagement. That's what item number 2 is. Organic user behavior means the more people click on your site, and hey, shout out to Spirit of 76, the best wholesale fireworks website in our industry, bar none. I mean, I love your guys' website. It produces engagement. It's intuitive. It's easy to use. How many of you have been on websites where it's kind of clunky or complicated or you just don't know what to do with it? Well, that website's not going to get as many clicks. Maybe there's no video. Maybe it's just clunky. So having a website's okay, but having a website that, 1, does back-end SEO work and produces engagement for users is what is going to get ranked. Does that make sense? This is about ranking. We're going to talk about human behavior too, but let's just start there. Please.
One more quick thing. Let's look at number 3 there. And that's actually it says Google My Business, but that's your Google Business Profile. So having your Google Business Profile set up correctly and optimized correctly actually affects how your website ranks, which is pretty interesting. So you got to do both. And that's one of the reasons why they're so important, why they're tied together.
Well said. Yeah. So your Google Business Profile matters here. It matters more in the next section. We'll talk about that maps area next. But here's 3 big things you guys need to do, or just have in your mind. If you've got a website now, or if you don't, you should know that not all websites are created equal. The platform, the back-end work that you do within SEO, it all matters for performance. The problem is that in the current, I almost said 2023, it's 2024, which is crazy. in the current age of the internet that we live in, Wix, Squarespace, even your POS system has made it easy to build a cheap, drag and drop website builder. That's never going to get you traffic. So the goal of your website's traffic. You have a different aim than just being set up with a site. You need it to perform. So if performance is the goal, then you've got to think about how you build your site. It matters a lot. Google also cares a whole heck of a lot about content. AI, if you haven't heard, is quite a big thing. AI, artificial intelligence, large language model systems of creating responses to queries and questions or requests. It's making developing content for marketers really easy. So that might not be something that we see as much in the Firework space, but I see it about everywhere else. Very duplicated, canned, templatized content that came from ChatGPT or Google's Bard or God knows whatever AI generators are out there. But Google is measuring the content on your site in a few ways. Ben, you want to tell us what EAT means in relation to content on your site?
Yeah, so even though you're right, there is a lot of AI out there, Google knows that the people that are spending the money, the people that are buying things are still humans at this point. And so they still...
At this point.
Yes.
Yes.
They still have a very high focus and priority on how do we get humans to interact on websites? How do we get them there? How do we get them to stay? And they want to put that authentic content, that's the type of content that they're going to reward, is a specific type of authentic content, because they know it'll resonate with other humans and it'll get that engagement. And so there's this neat little acronym, EAT, that stands for expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. And so a lot of that has to do with the content and the tone that the content is written in on the page. And Google reads words, right? And so they will look at that and be like, oh, wow, this sounds like this person knows what they're talking about, like they have authority, like they're being trustworthy, and also kind of has some experiential knowledge of whatever content or subject matter that they're talking about.
Right.
And so that's kind of what Google is focusing on.
Google can measure this stuff, guys. Google can measure your website and the content. Ben said something that you might not have picked up on. Google can read words. Maybe that's obvious to you, but that's kind of like, that's the world we live in. And this is all unto getting Google to like your website better than the next. So if you have a really generic, general website without a lot of content, you probably got some work to do. But then your website needs to be optimized for engagement. Again, is that video? Do you have a clear call to action? Here's my site. I'm not saying this is like rocket science, guys, but it's a clear site that articulates, hey, I'm Kansas City's top fireworks stand, get directions. And then there's a pop-up to get people opted into my customer database, which is not what we're talking about today. We'll talk about it a little bit. But let me just say that, what I'm going to talk about today with awareness and visibility is upstream. The secret sauce to marketing is follow-up. If you don't have a way to get people's name, email, phone number, and be properly registered and set up to send texts and emails to them, and let me just tell you that in the last few months, that got a lot more complicated. Ask me how I know. New government regulation to text and email people, which makes sense because we all get so many spam texts and spam emails. They are putting marketers through new hoops and jumps to be able to send out content to people as a follow-up. So you need to have a clean way to get people's information and then deliver, whether it be a text blast, an email blast, or a full-blown campaign. We run campaigns for our people, whether it's after hours, someone calls you and you're not open, or out of season, you're not open and someone calls you. We've got campaigns that'll be triggered to be like, hey, Pat Wright Fireworks here, we're not open, but how can we help? Automatic text back. We've got stuff like that. But we also have in-store ways of building your customer database too. That's just going to be a little bit of a lighter part of today because we're first focused on visibility. But if you start to develop season in, season out, you add 400 new people, 500 new people to your database, 1,000 new people. Well, yeah, we still want to rank on Google, but now we can give people that have been to us already a reason to come back. I can give them an offer. So that's kind of like a downstream thing. Again, we're not going to talk a lot about that today just for the sake of time. But I did want to mention it just as a, don't forget about that. So my website, again, it opts people in, and I have a way to get people opted in my store as well. But let's move on. How do I rank in the map section? This is where directions come from and phone calls, and your Google business page is higher up on the actual search page itself. So this is at the top of the screen, and there's only 3 businesses that rank here. So a lot of you might already have a Google business page. You might even have a couple of reviews. If you're not in the top 3, you might as well be anonymous. That's a little strong because I'd rather you have a page and exist than not. But those that are in the top 3, and even you can say the one that looks the best, is the one that's going to get at least the first opportunity to sell someone. Now, if they show up to your stand and your sales team sucks, or you have no product, or your open hours were wrong and you're not even open, well, they're going to go somewhere else. This is about giving you the first right of refusal, if you will, the first opportunity to make a sale, to build a relationship, to work your magic in store and build a customer for life.
I think the other thing that's worth pointing out too is maybe you do show up in this Google Maps section up top. That's great. If you're not doing the things that we're talking about and someone else in your market figures this stuff out and starts doing it, they're going to really give you a run for your money. Just because you're in that Google Map section doesn't mean that that's locked and that's going to stay there. Google wants you to keep feeding positive signals into that algorithm for you to kind of like hold in and lock your spot. So the more that you do, the harder it is going to be to, like, you know, knock you off the king of the hill.
I have a client that we just did a review with, and we were looking at, they've got 10 plus locations. We were looking at one of their locations, and there was a brand new tent that showed up. They've got a permanent building. They've been around for, golly, 20 years or so, brand new location, and they're doing really well. I mean, they're crushing it across their 10 plus locations. But this one new upstart, you know, pop-up stand got more reviews than them in one season, just this last New Year season. And now they're ranking number 2, and this new group's number 1. And my customer has more reviews overall, has a better website, but reviews do matter a lot. We'll talk about that here in this next section. And so here's another slide, again, from our friends at Moz, kind of breaking down the technical, what is Google looking for as it relates to ranking in the map section? Well, it's the elements, or you could say the optimization, the back end of your Google business profile, your Google My Business page. That's number 1. Having a page is implicit in this. Optimizing the page is not. There's a lot of people with a profile that don't know what optimization means. So that's one thing I want you to leave with. If you have a page with some reviews, doesn't mean you're optimized. Not to me. Not based on what I see. Because there's always levers to pull that you probably don't know about. Number 2, reviews. The second most important factor to rank in this map section that we're looking at here. I want you here. Second most important thing is reviews. The third thing is proximity of searcher to the place of business. So where people are physically at in your city, in your county, in your state, whatever, changes the results they see.
And that's whether or not they type in the city name.
Yes.
Or near me at the end of the search. That's just Google sees where their phone or where their computer is pinging from and makes the decision whether they use those geographical terms or not.
So that's out of your control. But it's a wonderful thing for a multi-location fireworks group that has, you know, in one city, 3, 4, 5 locations or more. Or maybe they're in different cities. Each of your Google business profiles should be a lightning rod to get actions taken. That's why I love having 3 stands in Kansas City. Each of them drives actions on their own in the different parts of town that they're in. I will tell you that in some parts of Kansas City, I'll show up on page 1 with 2 of my pages. Commonly, I see it. And so what does that mean? 2 out of the 3 positions in the map section belong to me. I am pushing my competition out, regardless of their inventory, regardless of history, regardless of physical location, and if they've got a better tent or parking lot than I do,
or lower prices,
or lower prices. I'm not saying don't think about your pricing, because some of you are in hyper price sensitive markets. Some of you are, it's maybe less of a deal than you think it is. And many of you are in a place where, again, I get lots of price shoppers. I get a lot less than you'd expect, who just find me online. I look like the best place to shop. I don't gouge people. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is I'm not always trying to figure out where everyone's at around me. I'm not always trying to price to the $99 24 pack, artillery shell thing that the guy down the street is just, it's a lost leader for him, or it's just a shoddy product. It's not from 76, right? It's not your mammoth shells or, oh my God, why I'm blanking on my other one, Supernova cans. That's a big seller for us, right?
Love those.
Carry good product, buy stuff from 76, buy stuff from good vendors that's quality, take care of your customers and charge reasonable prices. But a lot of people come to me and are afraid of pricing. And my experience has been when you do a good job of taking care of people and you show up on page one and you look like the best fireworks stand or fireworks store to go to, pricing matters a little bit less because of trust, credibility, and your brand positioning to people. It matters. And that's back to relationships. When you develop a relationship and give a good deal, the reason you give that good deal is to get them to come back, right? It's kind of the same idea with building brand awareness and trust when you show up with credibility on Google. And that's a well-built site, good reviews, etc. Right? So here's kind of side by side that local pack and organic search results. You see reviews and Google My Business elements in both places. What we're about to talk about matters to both kind of areas of ranking on page one of Google. I hope you're tracking with that. This profile is free to get. You don't need to pay me to build this profile for you. business.google.com. I'll put in the chat at the end. That's where you would go to get this profile for free. But wow, is it hard to get a Google business profile for a temporary business? Yes.
So I was just going to say is that they've changed.
Oh my gosh.
They've changed, updated. I'm sure they have a fancier word for that. They've made it harder to get Google business profiles verified.
It used to be a postcard. Worst case scenario, I could send a postcard to like a nearby business. Hey, FedEx Kinko's grocery store, restaurant next to my fireworks stand in a parking lot. And if you've got a physical building, obviously you're okay. Send a postcard to an adjoining or nearby business and then just move the pin around. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Postcards are gone. Many, many people, fireworks and otherwise, lots of industries, fireworks industry and otherwise, ask me how I know, are dealing with suspensions, profiles that don't pass the, how many times have you heard this? And maybe you haven't because you're not in digital marketing, but dear God, you don't meet the community guidelines or the quality control guidelines from Google Business Profile. With, and all due respect to the India support team that Google My Business works with or Google works with for their Google Business Profile page, but wow, they don't understand fireworks, how American businesses work, or a lot of times English. So getting profiles unsuspended is a bit of a journey. And if you don't have a page now, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to educate you. This is a very real pain in the ass. It doesn't mean you can't have a profile. It just means the more that Google outsources to different countries, as is true with most cases, they save a lot of money. They have a call center or not. There's actually no phone number to call anymore. There used to be. There's an email ticket that gets created that just will make you tear your hair out. And that is implicit with everything we're talking about. Without this profile being built, none of the rest of this matters. Even having a great website. Well, that doesn't even show up in the map section. I can't get direction requests to my website. I get it through my Google page to my Google listing, right? So again, more, if you're in a suspension right now and you need help, I've got some big guns in our company, people that I work with that are just pros at getting pages unstuck. But I've got a client I'm doing this with right now. I'm sharing maybe more with you than I should, but like I'm having to get insurance license, business license, signage, photography, photographs of the signage they had when they were open. I mean, there's a document collection thing to convince Google that, yes, I'm a real mother freaking business. Let me show up. Okay, so let's pretend that's not a problem for you. Let's pretend you did that. Here's the 3 things you do with that profile. Just like your website, the backend optimization of this profile matters a lot. So it's not just having the page and having reviews, it's checking every box on the back end of your page. And some of these back-end levers do show up on the front end, right? You can see questions that were answered. When you have recent reviews.
Oh, who's that?
Who's that?
Who's that reviewer? Who's that reviewer there?
Hey,
Oh,
guy.
wow.
Hey, guy.
Hey, 5 stars.
Hey, thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for that 5 stars. And no, I don't just get reviews from my colleagues and friends. That's an exception. But my point is, you will get this little snippet on Google when you get recent and frequent reviews, right? Here's Facebook votes. I got a good score on Facebook, but I don't really give a rip about Facebook. Oh, and look, here's one of my other stands. Hey, there's that one. Here's a description. And then there's posts, like content you can post to Google as well. You can post content to Google Business Profile like Facebook. I don't think many of you would know that. No one's going to shop with you because of what you post. It's simply sending as many signals to Google as you can. Okay, reviews, reviews, reviews. Reviews are hard. You all probably know reviews matter because when you decide where to eat or where to shop or what to buy on Amazon or whatever you're looking to buy, a lot of us look at reviews now. It's just kind of the unspoken buying pattern. So you got to show up first, but then it's a bit of a dogfight between who has the most reviews. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have the most in quantity. Quality matters too. But for getting them, you need a plan. And how many of you, whether you've tried it or not, just imagine you've got a long line. You've got a mom with a screaming baby. You've got a 17-year-old selling fireworks or, doing the point of sale. Hey, thanks for coming in. I hope you leave us a review. Go on Google and leave us a message. Here's 3 bags of fireworks and a dozen punks, and you've got a screaming baby in your other hand. They're going to get to their car and never leave you a review. Like, you've got to do something really memorable to get people to go out of their way to leave a review if they've left the premises. It's not easy. Ask me how I know. This is a part of what spawned Fireworks Stand Marketer was Ben and I for a couple of summers, 5 or 6 years ago, testing different methods to get reviews. We found one that works really well. But you need to have a plan to get reviews when people are on site. You want to add something?
Yeah. There's also responding to reviews as well.
Oh, yes.
That sends Google another positive signal. So whenever someone leaves you a review, whether it's positive or negative, you can respond to it. And you can say whatever you want, but the point is to say something. Even the bad reviews, say something, act like the adult, and
Yes.
respond to it in a professional way. But either way, responding to reviews equals engagement, which equals positive signals to Google.
Yes. So another little signal, another little thing that we help our customers with. We've got a platform that makes that incredibly easy, but it's another one of those ticky-tack things. And I'm not going to go to, hey, sign up with us now, but let me just say, if you're at all having your eyes glaze over, thinking about the Chiefs-Bills game, thinking about donuts, thinking about whatever you're thinking about, or thinking about those great products that Spirit of 76 shot off and the ones you want to buy, if this at all feels like, Christian, I'm glad you have had success. I don't think I could do that. I don't have time to make this happen. Let me just kind of pause and just tell you, like, that's why we're in business to do, is to deliver a ton of value, make this easy for you, and just get it done so that you don't have to do it. This is what we do. I will give you a strategy. I just had a first-year guy. I met him at the NFA. I spoke at the NFA last year, and I had a lot of people come up to me after. And so, like, next time talking to this guy, we talked to him when we onboarded him, but after his first season, I just talked with him today for about an hour, did like a postseason recap, and had, oh God, how many was it? 151 new reviews.
Let's go.
In New Year's. And New Year's is not his busier holiday. I've got some people in Texas that do have a busier season in New Year's, which I find fascinating. Obviously, most people, it's the 4th of July. And so he got 150 new reviews. Guess how many his competitors in his area got? 6? 0? Is that going to matter a lot to Google that he got 150 new reviews and no one around him did? Yes. Would he have done that without our help? No. Has he tried? Yes. He's a smart guy. But it's just knowing those little things that make it easy and seamless, and that all the stuff that as marketers we can just bring to the table and get done for you. More on that in a second. Here's what I think you should know about reviews. So even if you don't use us, here's just some pro tips. Getting reviews, in my experience, on your busiest days is harder. It's harder to get a review on July 4th and December 31st, right? When your store's packed and you're just trying to get people through a line and you're trying to get out your last product and it's raining or the fire marshal walked by and it's just chaos. And right, I get it. I've been there. It's a lot easier to get reviews on your slower days. And it also will impact your busiest days if you get reviews early in your season. So we open on June 29th. I make it a huge focus to get reviews to my team and my managers on June 29th and the 30th. We have way less traffic. We do, I don't know, gosh, 15% of our revenue, 20% of our revenue through July 1st. Not a lot, like all of you. That might even be high, it might even be 10%. But the point is, I still have some customers coming in and it's calmer. So I can more easily like walk them through a buying process. And if I've got a system in place and my team knows how to use it, I'll get more reviews early that impacts my season on my busiest days in terms of my rank. In-person reviews, as I've said, is key. Having a system that you don't have to think about, that your team understands, that's the key. If I get on a call with some of you, or if some of you sign up with us, I am going to, if not having already done it, persuade you that getting reviews on Google is worth its weight in gold. How does that translate to the 18-year-old, to your friend that's going to pitch in, to your spouse or kids or whatever you're using for labor, your volunteer group, who gets a check but maybe isn't getting paid, so they don't care that much? I've seen it all. How do you incentivize them properly and communicate with them properly to execute the system we have? We can talk through that with you, but it's something you need to have in place, or you're having hope as a strategy. And hope is great, but hope is not a strategy. We have a system. All of our clients get this. I train people on this myself. I'll tell you my stories, my do's and don'ts, but this is a part of working with us as coaching so that the system we give you is effective. Okay, so let's just do an example. I'm looking at 3 businesses on Google. One has 47 reviews with a 4.4 rating. A business B has 31 reviews with a 4.2 rating. Business C has 242 reviews with a 4.9 rating. So I've stripped out everything else. Those are just the facts. Ben, you're a consumer. Which of these options are you going to choose?
I'm definitely going to look at business C first.
You're at least going to probably give business C a look first.
Absolutely.
You might not go there. It might be too far away. Maybe there's a group that's way closer, and maybe 4.4 stars is enough. But that's a pretty big gap. You might give them a chance first.
Yeah, I would definitely look at business C first.
Guess who business C is? It's me. Business C is me. And that's what I've experienced, is I may not be number 1. I might be in position 3 or position C. But I'm probably going to get people's, an opportunity to close them or sell them or get them to come into my store and explore me as an option first. That's first. So I'm not saying that I'll for sure get everyone that sees me, but this is just compelling. This is a part of it, right? So it's back to having a website, a Google page, and a system to get reviews. It's the net result of when I type in Kansas City fireworks stand, these are the results I got. And this is pretty compelling that I'm probably going to get the first chance. And so are our customers who are in the same position, whether it's position 1, 2, or 3, they're going to look like the best option, even if they don't have the most reviews. I've got some customers that it's going to take a couple of seasons to outpace the group with the most reviews because they've done it and they figured it out. But no one gets reviews faster than my customers because no one knows how to do it the way that we do it. And it's hard. It took us a few years to figure it out, and it works for me, for my customers. It works across the board. This is our system we give people. I'll follow up on this later, but this is where you do review responding. You can see, reviews that came in that I could respond to right in here. So all of your reviews will aggregate and you can respond, like Ben said, right from our backend software. You also want to set up all local profiles. And I'm going to, after this, guys, turn the corner towards everything that our services include. So just kind of a, gear shift, turning the corner here. And we've got maybe 10 minutes left, and then we'll do some Q&A. But besides Google, there's a lot of other key profiles that Google's looking for you to have. Your Bing Places page, your Apple Maps page, your Yelp page, singular. I'm not saying you won't get traffic from Yelp, Apple Maps, or Bing, or hotfrog.com, kudzu.com, TomTom, BMW's GPS system. I'm not saying that you're going to get a lot of traffic from those places, but those are other authoritative listings that your business can have or not. And why does this matter to Google? The more key profiles you have set up that have your consistent name, address, phone number, hours, website, it makes Google think you're more legitimate. So it's a back-end algorithmic thing to say, and all of our customers get this, I want you to be consistent across the internet, across all profiles. You won't get a lot of traffic from Bing itself. I'm not saying you'll get zero. There's some Bing users out there. There's some people that prefer Apple Maps to Google Maps. We want to make sure you have open hours and show up there properly. But getting that set up, and then honestly, guys, getting your hours dialed in on these profiles, my Lanta, it's not as easy as it sounds. They're all different systems. They're all disparate. And we have a one automatic sync system to both build your profiles. We have a backdoor connection to about 70 different profiles, 60 to 70, depends on the market. We automatically build them with all of your correct information. And oh, Texas DOT just showed up and said, my permit at this location is now null and void because of a culvert. This happened last summer with a customer of ours. Hey, not a problem. We're going to go into our system and automatically update your location to the new address with your new hours. It was a couple of hours later that she showed up on her Google page, her website, and every other key profile with consistency. That's why you have a backend system that just syncs it automatically. You've got to get that set up. Consistency makes your customers happy. Well, their website and Google page says they're open, but Facebook says they're closed, but Apple says it's temporarily closed and they don't even have a Bing page. You don't want confusion when people search around to learn about your business. You want consistency and clarity. Okay. What do we do? What do we do for our customers? Kind of 4 key things. There's more to it than this. We build a website for our clients that's built to rank on Google and convert leads. We handle everything in the umbrella of what we call local SEO. We do review generation for our customers, and we give our customers a backend app that does a lot of things that I don't want to tell you all about because it would be too much information right now. It is our backbone. It's where we have a CRM, texting and emailing, and let's talk about these things briefly. So I'm going to build you a new website. Ben, you want to talk about how we build sites or anything about what we do that's unique?
Yeah. So when someone visits a website, you have 3 to 5 seconds to basically capture their attention and reassure them that they're in the right place. Right. And so they want to know where you are, they want to see credibility, and they want to know what they're supposed to do next.
Right.
And so that goes into even how we build our websites, with what we put above the fold, what's in the menu, what's in the top header bar, all that kind of stuff. But then there's also all of the back end pieces that go to that as well. So other than the content that's on the front page of the website, there is what's called metadata for every page on every website across the internet. A lot of people leave it blank and they don't do anything with it. But you can fill it in. You can put specific SEO titles, page descriptions, focus on the different keywords that you want to rank, all that stuff. You can be intentional to tell Google what you want in there and have it focus on a specific keyword. So Google, the way that they classify pages is they like to use one focus keyword per page.
Yes.
So if you have a few different pages on your website, I mean, for a fireworks stand like this, it's pretty simple, just 2 or 3 pages. Some people have more pages, and that's fine. But you want to make sure that there is one good performing, high ranking keyword focus for each page on your site.
Well said, Ben. Your back end of your site can do more than you think. I don't expect you to become a digital marketer. If you want to put your marketing hat on and get your fingers dirty and your hands dirty, you guys are all smart, right? You're intelligent. You could figure this out. But this is one of those things that this is just what we do. So we'll have that set up and ready from the jump. Okay, I'm going to get your Google business profile in place if it doesn't exist. I'm going to get your other key profiles in place. I'm going to optimize those profiles and give you some clear reports. I've shown you some of our reports throughout this presentation. We give those reports to all of our clients. Hey, traffic to the site, direction requests that happened, phone calls that happened. All of that comes from right here, comes from Google. So click to call, click to get directions, click to visit the site. That's where all the data comes from, right? So we'll give you clear reporting to show before and after. Guys, there's so much data I wish I could show you. But then, okay, thing 3, website, local SEO, key profiles, and then review generation. You're going to get coaching and a strategy that's both worked for me. And this is, I know I've got back here 149 reviews. This is just an old slide. This is now where I'm at 241 reviews for Pat Riots. And here's reviews with a photo and a couple of photos. These are the most relevant reviews that Google's tagged. So again, content on your reviews actually does matter. If all you get is a 5-star, with no text or photo, that's fine. But look how Google is prioritizing people that posted a photo with longer form content. Google is very dynamic and very powerful and will highlight to users, these are the first reviews that show up. They're not even my newest, but they're the ones that Google is looking for. So whether you don't have reviews now or you're not consistently getting reviews, if you work with me, I'm just going to look at the camera and pretend like I'm looking you right in the eyes. Those days are done. You will get more reviews in your next season with me than you've ever had before. Okay, like, is there a guarantee on that? No, but like, I've never seen someone work with us in their first season and not get the most reviews they've ever had. I can't think of someone where that's been the case. So some of that's to implement on your side when you're open. I can't be there with you, but I will make it easy for you to do. And people do it all the time. And then you get Client Stack. Client Stack does a lot. Client Stack's where we do texting and emailing. We're going to collect people's information in a CRM. It's your CRM. It's your customer database. We don't sell that information. We don't do anything with it. It's not our agenda. It's all yours. It's your customer database. But you need a database that also is an integrated platform to do a few more things. So I need a CRM that also responds to reviews, that also can text and email people, that also helps me see different metrics about my kind of online engagement. Oh, and a place to post my social content and schedule that out. Client Stack does all of that and more. This is more of a downstream thing than visibility. This is engagement and follow-up and nurture. A lot of that happens in Client Stack for us. I'll tell you something about one of our customers. Not the first one we've done this before, but we just wrapped up the New Year season, right? And I had a customer, again, 10 plus locations. It's that same one that I mentioned earlier. We ran a contest giveaway in all of their 10 plus locations. So each store was doing a giveaway. In 12 days, 10 days, 11 days of them having a season, December 20th to January 1st, we got them 4,800 contacts opted in cleanly. All properly opted in, first name, last name, email, phone number.
Check a box. I accept.
Check a box. I accept to receive marketing from this group. I want to enter the contest giveaway. They have 10 plus locations. If you have one, you should not expect to get 4,800 locations. And they were also riding the backs of the last couple of seasons. This was not their first season with us, where we built SEO. A lot of their opt-ins came in through the website. So we adjusted the pop-up to be, hey, we're doing a giveaway in our stores. Sign up here. And then in store, we ran a strategy as well. So this relates to Client Stack. This relates to downstream things, building a customer database, sending follow-up text and emails. That's a part of what we do for our customers and clients. And hey, I'm seeing a Q&A come in. Christy, thanks for putting that there. People, if you want to add Q&As or things to the chat, I'm about to turn the corner to anyone that wants to hang around. Like, we won't keep you for long. You can certainly pop off whenever you want. Like, you're not getting, credit for participation for staying. If you're interested to see the chat and Q&A, hang around as long as you want. Ben and I are here. It's 8:45 at night where we're at, so it's not like there's another meeting we've got to go to. Our families are probably mostly asleep at this point. I hope to God mine is.
Mine are not.
His are not. Okay, my kids, if they're not asleep, I've got problems in about 30 minutes when I go home. But I'm just going to name, this is a part of what we do for customers. This is something that typically we don't do till season 2. Not that we wouldn't before, but like, I want you just to get your site live, to get reviews, and to get established. And then
Start showing up.
Start showing up, because these types of things to get people into your CRM get better when you don't only have in-store traffic, but also online traffic. So just to kind of say, like, again, we focused on Google and algorithmic things and kind of pulling the veil back a bit on that. But I just want to name, this is also something we do, and I think we do it quite well.
But I really do. I mean, yes, sure, I'm involved in the presentation and the order, but I really like where this is put in, because this is something that's like, ooh, a contest giveaway, this sounds really exciting. This will do this and that. You have to show up first on Google. People have to be able to find you. And so having that basis where people can actually find you really makes a big difference. Otherwise, if you have a contest, no one's going to be able to find it. So people have to find you first, and then something like this really makes a big difference.
And maybe you don't want to do a contest. Maybe it's like, hey, opt in for my client list for a 5% giveaway. Or maybe it's a free product. Like, hey, show me the screen that you opted in and I'll give you some sparklers. Like, you can, obviously, like, there's variety of strategies. This is just one way we built a customer's database through a contest in store and online that worked super well.
And like, to that, the 76 demo that we just watched had 3 different giveaways, and
Hey.
don't tell me that didn't incentivize some of you
Hey,
to get onto the
yeah.
giveaway or to get onto the demo and stick around to see if you won.
Matt, if you're still here, I hope I won one of the giveaways. I guess I wasn't watching.
You weren't. I watched.
Oh,
You
darn
didn't
it.
win
I
anything.
didn't. Shoot.
Sorry to tell you, Christian.
Damn it. Sorry. Okay. Thanks, Matt. Okay. Hey, what do you do with our services? Like, hey, Christian, I don't have time for this. I want it, but I don't want to do a lot. Good news. You don't have to do a lot. You onboard with us, right? So there's obviously a proposal, you sign it, we do billing, but then here's the next steps. It's onboarding. So you'll do like an intake form, and yeah, we'll do a call. You learn how to use our review strategy. You ask us questions when you need help. And we have a plan for get you launched, season 1, season 2, and so on and so forth. So there's things will drip out on you automatically as you kind of get your feet set. And let me just say, time is on your side right now. And I get it. It's like January. So you might not be thinking about fireworks because maybe you just wrapped up or you didn't have a New Year season. And so you're just not stressing about July yet or June yet. It's not on your mind. The people who start with us earlier do better for a dozen reasons. 1, we can build it faster. 2, you're about to find out that there's actually a limited amount of people we can take on right now. 3, you don't have to run around like a chicken with your head cut off like you would if you sign up in May. It doesn't happen overnight. I don't just have a like algorithm that spits out your site and builds your Google page. Like these things take time. So the more time you give me, the better. Okay. So if you guys just apply a handful of tips from today, I hope you feel like you're moving in the right direction. But if you want an easy button and you want this done right, everyone who's still here gets $500 off of our annual fee. So I'm going to show you our fees in a second, but just by being here and being a Spirit of 76, demo participant, I hope customer of Spirit of 76. Again, like Matt's my sales rep and Matt does a great job and their whole team over the years has been amazing. Get your fireworks from them and lock in a discount so that we can push that product for you and get it sold so that you can go like me. Maybe you're not at 57,000, but whatever that is for you, whatever your base is, whether you're coming out of your New Year's revenue mark or last 4th of July, guess what? It's a Thursday this year. The 4th of July is on a freaking Thursday. And hey, sometimes I'm surprised. Probably not going to be the best year. Anything you can do to marginally move the needle on revenue in a year where, golly, yeah, Thursday I'm not sure, right? I've been talking about that with some other people in the industry. It's like, do they take off Monday through Wednesday and then get Thursday off, or do they probably work throughout the week and then maybe Wednesday night they take off early, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they have a long weekend on the back end. But a lot of you are closed after the 4th. Not all of you. My point is, on years like this, knowing that there's some variables we can't control, getting someone who can come in and leverage an entire channel, the 800-pound gorilla in the room known as Google that you might not be really focused on, that's what we want to do. We can only take 20 clients, like I said. So again, we want to work with people and work well. And so we kind of do just cap at times. Like we'll do more in the spring. We'll speak at a few spring demos and we'll do, YouTube videos and interviews. Like we'll take on more clients by the time the 4th of July comes, but kind of in this next phase, post New Year's, moving into our first development season, we got room for 20 people. Okay, so if you want to be one of those 20, kind of first come, first serve in terms of priority and build out, some of you have Memorial Day, which is going to sneak up on you a lot faster than you think. Texas Independence Holiday, I have some people that are open there too. And then obviously the 4th of July is about 6 months away, less than 6 months now, which is crazy. 5 months and change is kind of where we're at, which is just wild. So if you were at all curious about doing this, here's maybe the thing you've been waiting for. Here's our pricing. I'm not going to hide the ball and make you go sign up for a call with me. You can send me an email when we're done. We'll send you emails of follow-up when we're done. I want to talk with you. But for those that are just ready to take action and they know they need help, maybe you've heard me speak before, maybe you heard me at the NFA, maybe it's your first time here hearing this presentation. That's okay. Maybe you need a little more credibility on me before you take action. That's also okay. But for those that want to work with us, this is the discount you get off of our retail fee. So you have 2 things with our pricing. You have this payment, and you can go annual, biannual, or monthly. If you go monthly, it's a slightly higher monthly fee, so you'll get right above $39.98 in terms of your total fee for the year. But biannual or annual, it's the same. It's just pay once or twice, right? And then you have a $50 per month local listings per location fee. So that's to get that location's key profiles built, live, and set up. We're going to try and get everything live in 60 days, back to only being able to take on 20. We do texting and emailing, incredibly small fees on texting and emailing. It's just one fee. You'll send out, oh my God, 700 texts for like $10. Like some of you won't even send out 700 texts in your first year. Like you're not going to spend a lot on texting. The point is, I like our pricing to be transparent and clear. I don't like to hide the ball. I want it to be really clear. If you're a multi-location group, the price does go down. There's a per location fee. You don't have to start with all of your locations. You can start with 1. You can start with 3. You can move to 10. I've had some people sign up with all 30 of the locations, and then some that only sign up with 1 and then move to add the rest of the 4 they've got later. All of that's okay. Take a step in the right direction. You can still go sign up. Go to go.fireworksandmarketer.com. I'll put it in the chat now if you're still here. That way everyone has it. Or let me put the HTTPS out front. Go.fireworksandmarketer.com. So there's your link.
And then let's put the promo code in.
Promo
so you guys
code.
can use that. So it's 76 demo and then 24 for the year 2024.
Perfect. So that's in the chat now. 76 demo 2024.
So if you do go to that page, fill in your name and email, whatever, and then on the next page where the pricing is, there's a coupon code field. Just put it in there, hit enter, and you can get that pricing.
Yep. Okay. So a lot of information, guys. A little more than an hour. I'm sorry we went a bit long. We're going to hang around for Q&A. But like, truly, thank you for giving us your time. I mean, it's a Wednesday night. I know you've got other things to do. You sat through a great demo. Well done, 76.
Awesome.
I love the John Bechtel by the Fire TV Place thing with the music, the Bach cello suites. It hits well. So great job, John. But like, if you guys are at all curious to take a step here, again, go.fireworksandmarketer.com, and you can email me. So I'm going to put my email in the chat as well. I thought it was on the slide. But I'll put it in the chat just if you're still here. So fire away your questions now, if you'd like to ask a question. We've got one. I'm going to go start with what's at top of the queue. So Christy, we have an existing website as we only sell through online orders for local pickup. Every order is placed online and our team picks and packs the order in 30 minutes or less. Can you build a site that integrates a POS and inventory, or can you collab with a current web developer? Site looks great, operates well, but they're lacking in the service side of things. Yes, we can chat about that, Christy. We've done work with a number of people that do online ordering using a POS or something like Finale. We've got people that can help with those types of builds. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and say, email me, Christy, at Christian@fireworksstandmarketer.com. We've got a question about what the cost would be for 2 stands. And that's a great question, Mike, and a really fair one. So the marginal cost goes down by location. Mike, can you PM me your email so I can send you an email after this with what the price is? It's mostly going to be pretty standard for people, but depending on maybe a couple of things, could have some variance. But generally speaking, the price goes down by like, hey, one stand is, $4,000. The next one is roughly, let's say, like $3,750. And then it goes down from there. So your average cost goes down a lot. So our groups with 10, 20, and 30 locations, they're not spending $4,000 per location, to be clear. So Mike, there is a discount for 2 locations. If you can in Zoom, DM me your email. I'll get your email later on from the registration list, but I can kind of chat with you later on tomorrow, tonight, and send you that pricing.
Yeah, and we do, I guess it's funny to kind of offer a downsell. We do have some of our customers that are like, hey, I have 4 or 5 stands. Let me just try it with 1 and kind of see how you guys do, and then I'll bring my other stands in consecutive years. And so that's something that we've done too, where they've been like, hey, you did great with this 1. Let's kind of move on.
Yep.
So I'm not necessarily like, Mike, if you're ready to go with 2, we're ready to go with you also.
Yes.
But it's not all or nothing is what I'm trying to say. If you wanted to slow walk it a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, let me just say with digital marketing in general, this might be your first time hearing us. This might be something that you're like, wow, I'm curious, but I'm a little nervous because I don't know these guys. I hope that spirit of 76 putting us up for this and partnering with us gives you some sense of like, they trust us. They know we're going to deliver. They know we're going to execute on your behalf, and they've seen it before for customers. People that buy from them, people that they've talked about me with. I talk with their team pretty regularly. But also, I just want to encourage you that if you're at all curious about this, do start with 1 stand. Bring me 2, 3, 4, or 5 if you want. I'm in. I'm totally in, and we can deliver. Not worried about it. But if you just want to dip your toe in the water for 1 season, I'm so persuaded and convinced by both the data I've seen for myself, the data I've seen for other customers, and let me just say, the data I've seen for CPAs, tax professionals, bookkeepers, and accountants in my other agency. If these are principles that are really safe, none of this is hokey pokey, magic, rubbing a crystal ball. That's not what this is.
No, these are really all tested strategies that we've honed over the course of years before we even broached the topic of, hey, why don't we offer this to other retail fireworks stands outside of your stands? It was something that we've really worked on. So this wasn't some kind of snake oil. This was like a tried and true tested formula that we used on ourselves that worked, we honed before we kind of brought it to market.
And I'm going to do some client testimonials and do some interviews with clients over the coming months. I didn't put this in our slides or our chat. I probably should have, but like I've got a lot of videos on Fireworks Stand Marketers YouTube channel. So I'll try and post the link there. If you can grab that and then ping it to me.
Sure.
I've got videos about myself, about how we do things. You can also email me. Please do, Christian@fireworksandmarketer.com. I'm in to talk to anyone. I really am. I'm glad to help. So tell me your story. Tell me what you're looking to do. And yeah, hey, another question, Christy, is your revenue data normalized for the huge price increases we saw in recent years? No, it's not like if normalized means, hey, reduce back to 2015 prices. I think that's what you mean, Christy. No, it's not, right? So the cost of doing business does go up. But let me just go back to that, Christy, because that's a really good question. Because the thing that I would put forward to you, Christy, and I'm just going to back out of the slide deck so I can very quickly skip to the beginning. Whoop. Okay. Oh, too far. Let me go to this case study because this is going to answer your question. Okay. Slideshow mode. I hope you all can see this still. Okay, good. It looks like you can. In 2015, I only had 1,000 transactions. 2019, I had 1,500 transactions. 2023, I had 2,100 transactions. So yes, my prices have been going up. Absolutely. They have to. What did we deal with 2 or 3 years ago? $40,000 for shipping a container from China. God, that hurt. That hurt everyone. So yeah, my prices had to go up. But my point is, my transactions have gone up. If I had parallel transaction amounts or levels, I think that would be like, oh, Christian's maybe tricking us, right? Like he's just been raising his prices.
Cooking the books.
I'm cooking the books, and I'm not. I've more than doubled my transaction amount on a 60 by 40 tent for a 6-day season, sandwiched between 2 other regional stands. And I don't hate them, but I'm kicking their tail because I show up on Google and they'll drive right past them and come to me. So location matters. Price increases matter. You might, Christy, if you want to discount my numbers down a bit, so be it. But that's also just normal business, that prices go up and therefore our prices to our customers go up. But the thing that is compelling is that transactions went up. The amount of unique customers year over year has steadily increased, which says to me, again, I'm getting more eyeballs. I'm getting more visibility. I'm therefore getting more customers who I wouldn't have had otherwise coming in to buy. I hope that answers your question, Christy. A great, fair question. And if you have more, send me an email, Christian@fireworksandmarketer.com. I can take anything you throw at me because there's nothing to hide. Okay, if there's no other questions, I'll start to wrap up. If anyone else has a last minute one, please let me know.
This is interesting. Just kind of a nerd. So I put in an inflation calculator just to kind of see. And so
okay.
$57,000 in 2015 is worth $73,000, $74,000 in 2023 money. So
yeah.
So it's just interesting to kind of know like
right.
what the inflation was there for that normalization.
That's good. And again, thank you, Christy. Mike, is you marketing your only service? We need I think you had a typo, Mike. I think you need help with your POS. I can help talk about POS stuff from my own experience. We don't have a POS system. Like I use Square. That's what I use. So if you come to me, I might recommend Lightspeed or Square. We don't have a software. We are a marketing team. I don't have something else to sell you. I want to stay in my lane and be good at what we're good at. But I'm also kind of a consultant for a number of our clients. And when you talk with me, Mike, I hope you do send me an email. Like I'll tell you my story about POS. I'll tell you my horror stories from other people. I had a client, winter of 2022, New Year's last year, going into 2023, who used Lightspeed and it went down and they lost $1 million in product. Or sorry, $1 million in sales. They lost $1 million in sales. They're a really big stand, really big store. And Lightspeed went down. So can I tell you some of that stuff from our other customers and like what's worked and what's not worked? And that's not to say that POS systems don't have problems. Square's had problems too. But if you
Some
need
people use Clover and really like it
yeah,
also.
Clover's out there, right? There's no affiliates with us. There's not like some backdoor, I'm going to twist your arm to make you do this. I'm just happy to give advice. And so if you're currently doing like a calculator with like a notepad and just tabulating stuff, you can make a huge dent in your efficiency in your business by getting an online, cloud-based POS system.
But that's definitely not our focus. Like
Not our focus.
We want you guys to show up on Google.
Yes, but I can help speak to it, just to be clear. So yes, Mike, I'm in to help. Christy, thanks for clarifying. Oh, not intended. Gotcha. To imply it wasn't honest. No, totally. Christy, love it. Bring it. I get this all the time. I'm in marketing. And guess what, guys? I deal with other people that have used marketers and feel like I'm never doing that again because it was just $10,000 down the drain or $5,000 down the drain or Facebook took all my money and I don't know. I get it. And so I come in wanting to give data and real examples to kind of be compelling and create a story that hopefully leaves those of you that are still here with hope. This stuff really does work. Why am I different than you? I'm not. I just know how to play on Google. And I want to teach you how to do that and do it for you. Sierra, do you feel Facebook Live is helpful in peak season? Sure, absolutely. If you've got a following on Facebook or Instagram, then going live on Facebook and doing social content is great too. Let me just tell you a kind of something I probably shouldn't tell you. I don't think I posted anything to Facebook. Maybe I posted two times to my main profile in 2023. I'm not proud of it. I should have posted more. I was kind of busy like you guys, so I get it. I could have used ClientSide to schedule my posts out. I just didn't. And it hasn't hurt me. It's good to have basic information on Facebook, to have a page, to have some posts. I haven't found it necessary to be as active on Facebook or Instagram as you might expect. All that to say, I have some clients that do quite well with Facebook. And it's also getting harder. I have multiple people coming out of this season who posted actively to Facebook, and almost everything they posted got taken down by Facebook. Some of those people were on this webinar tonight or were on the shoot. I saw their names. Real people who buy from 76, they're your peers who are doing stuff on Facebook, and that might not be your story, but I'm just saying it's really common to put stuff on Facebook right now, and because of fireworks as an industry, get flagged and taken down without you having any recourse. So I just don't put a lot of chips in Facebook and social media. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. Go live on Facebook. Do anything they'll let you do, but put more eggs in the basket of Google because it's less problematic. Google is more friendly to you. Okay.
And then like one other quick thing with that too, like, yeah, social media is great. There are those issues. Part of smart marketing is going where the people are.
Yes.
And the people are on Google right now. The vast majority of people that are making buying decisions, even in the firework space,
yes,
are on Google. And
yes.
so that's why we have such a strong focus there.
Yes. Okay. I think the Q&A is wrapping up. Mike, I think I'll get your email from the registration list. So I'll get that from this team of 76. So give me a day or two, Mike. If you want to DM me, private message me your email while we're still together, you should be able to select send a message to hosts only. And you should send me a message so I can get your email, or I'll get it later, Mike, and I'll follow up with you. Sierra, I'm glad this was helpful. Yes, please do focus on Google, even if you don't use us. It does hit the goal of what we want to do in our industry. I want to educate. I want to teach. I want to train. We are a business. We also want customers. We want to help people who are aligned with what we need. So Sierra, I'm glad this was helpful. Maybe you need to shift from Facebook to Google. Send me an email. Let's talk about it. I'd love to have a call with you and just go over things. And even if it means you don't sign up with us, that's okay. But perhaps maybe there's a way for us to partner with you and work together. So we're just not high pressure salespeople, because I feel like you'll naturally choose the path that makes sense for you if we're the right path, if we're aligned. Data, results, experience, and case studies to me is compelling. So thank you all again. I'll wrap it up there. Matt, thanks for hanging out, man. You've been on this, 76 shoot on YouTube for hours with us now as well. I owe you a beer or 10. So thanks for being here. I'll kind of sign us off, and I think I've got the con, so I'm going to stop sharing and then close us down. Matt, do you want to say anything at the end?
No, you guys are great. Lots of great information. Really appreciate you guys doing this and for our customers and our customers that you guys have involved have been really happy with the results, and I give a pat on the back all the time for you guys. So great job, and look forward to working with you guys more.
Thank you, Matt. And I got to buy a container from Matt, guys, so I'm right with you. That's actually something we're talking about right now. So I'm right with you. I'm buying. I'm freaking out, trying to figure out what I need to get and getting my ducks in a row. So I'm right there with you too, and love 76. So thank you again to you, Matt, and the rest of the team, Sam and Taylor and everyone else that helped get this together, and John, you as well for letting us do this, and Rob, appreciate you all. And I'll be at those spring demos, even just as a viewer, as long as my children are kosher. So as long as that's the case, I'll see you in a couple months, Matt.
Sounds good. Look forward to having you.
If not sooner. And everyone else, hey, my inbox is open. You know where our kind of sign up page is. If you got questions, don't be shy. Fire it off, and we'll be glad to help. So thanks again, and we'll catch you guys soon.
That's good. Take care.